I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
I was at a meeting with PSBA last week, and they led that Pledge of Allegiance so fast, I was like, I'm gonna get my board going, like, we're gonna take less pauses, you know. All right, can we get a roll call, please?
Mrs. Bennett?
Here.
Mrs. Eckerd?
Here.
Mr. Franco?
Here.
Dr. Osherick?
Here.
Dr. Pravola?
Here.
Mr. Farr?
Here.
Mrs. Arnold?
Here. Okay, superintendent remarks.
Thank you. Good evening, board, and good evening, community. This brief meeting was called for one specific reason. There is only one agenda item. I'll be asking the board to consider approving our grant application for the state's Solar for Schools program. Although we talked about this 2 weeks ago at our regular January board meeting, we didn't realize that to submit the grant, we needed the board to formally approve the grant application. I apologize to the board and certainly even to the community for our oversight, and appreciate the board working with me and my team to get this meeting advertised and scheduled. If awarded this grant, this would provide approximately $1.1 million towards our solar project. Earlier today, I was fortunate enough to attend a tour of Johnson College with about 30 of our high school students. Man, it was such a good day. Mrs. Egan was with me also. Johnson College has many, many programs. Our students were very impressed with the available and affordable programs. Johnson College, I didn't know this, but Johnson College is the 10th ranked trade school in the nation, and we're so lucky to have it here right in our backyard. Yesterday, a reporter from WVIA visited the high school to talk with Mr. Guston and a couple of our FFA students about our egg-laying chickens. The two young ladies that primarily take care of the birds call themselves the chicken tenders. I thought that was pretty creative. I got to run around the courtyard with our chickens during the interview, and although it was tons of fun, this is just another example of the great things happening in our school district. I'm going to continue to bring positive attention and positive opportunities that occur to the forefront every day. I spent the majority of the day on Monday visiting classrooms throughout our school district, and man, let me tell you, such a positive day. I've always had great appreciation for our teachers and paras, and I am thrilled to report that I witnessed great instruction and learning experiences, and it was very obvious to me how much our teachers and our paras really care for our students. You know, I say it a lot, but it's the truth. This is a special place. I'd be remiss if I didn't mention how pleased I am that the proposed freeze on federal grant programs was rescinded after 24 hours. And let me just explain it, why. If the federal freeze went into effect the other day, our district would, quite frankly, we'd be crushed. We would lose approximately 10 mils worth of funding. That's about $3 million a year that we would lose. The impact would be absolutely massive. Tax increases, I mean, we wouldn't have a choice. But such a freeze would end free and reduced lunch. That would be over. That's all federally funded. We'd be forced to furlough about 8 teachers, I was estimating. We would need to eliminate our primary and intermediate reading specialist positions because they're all federally funded, thus reducing remedial services. We would be forced to eliminate some special education transportation, some special ed programming, and some special education teachers. It would also significantly increase class sizes. I'm confident in saying I don't believe anyone in our community would want those things to occur. I sincerely hope that the federal government takes the time to fully understand the impact a federal freeze would have on the education of the nation's children and on our local taxpayers. I know I mentioned this 2 weeks ago, but it's certainly worth revisiting. January is School Board Appreciation Month. I'd like to thank our school board members for serving our community. Being a school board member, let me tell you, being a school board member isn't easy. They are often faced with difficult decisions, that determine the future or the future direction of a school district. And these are volunteer. They don't receive any compensation, and we have an excellent and dedicated board. I'm so fortunate to get to work with such a professional group. Thank you for your service to the Tunkhannock community. And I'll close with this. We're currently under a winter weather advisory until tomorrow morning at 9 a.m., and the forecast is for freezing rain. The National Weather Service expects, this is a quote, very slippery roads and bridges that will impact the Friday morning commute. They also advised everyone to be prepared for possible power outages. We will continue to monitor it, and I think it's safe to say that we are probably looking at a delay tomorrow. And when we are done here, I will be notifying our school community, because I always want to give parents as much time as I possibly can to plan for the morning. But we will try to make the best possible decision to keep our students safe. And thank you very much. I'm sure my comments this evening will be the longest part of the meeting, but I'm not going to give up the chance to speak. Thank you.
Thank you. When you're talking about the student safety with the storm tomorrow, have you considered an option where parents can drop their students off tonight? No? Okay.
I think Dr. Suppan has volunteered to stay overnight this evening at the high school, and there will be a swim party starting at 1 a.m.
Belly flop contest? Okay, perfect. All right. Do we have any public comments on agenda items only? The only agenda item being the Solar for Schools program grant. Seeing none, we'll move on to new business. Item A, approve the Solar for Schools program grant resolution. What do you want to do? You need to say anything, Doc?
No, it's, so we have 5 projects, 5 applications into Penelec. It was great news to know that we can apply for the grant for every project individually. So the funding source is significant if we get it. So I want to thank the board for coming tonight just to get this resolution so we can finalize and submit the grant tomorrow, because that's the deadline. And keep our fingers crossed that we can get about $1.2 million extra dollars towards this capital project.
Great. Is there any, do we have a motion to approve?
Motion to approve.
We have a motion and a second with Paula and Mr. Franco. And do we have any board discussion? Okay. Seeing none, can I have a roll call, please?
Mrs. Bennett?
Yes.
Mrs. Eckert?
Yes.
Mr. Franco?
Yes.
Dr. Osherik?
Yes.
Dr. Pravola?
Yes.
Mr. Farr?
Yes.
Mrs. Arnold?
Yes. Okay. Do we have any public comment in general this evening? Any board comment? All right, everybody, do I have a motion to adjourn?
Motion to adjourn.